What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of Red Divided. Myself, Tommy.
Got myself Ham, Bukayo Saka, God's child, God's very own. Same, different week, same shit, top of the table, whatever. Too many AKAs to go to now, man. And we're joined again by my good mate, our good mate, friend of the show, Oxlade Chamberlain.
Yeah, you got me, Drew. And yeah, I just want to say Liverpool, we are back, baby. The shirt is on with pride again.
It's not. You're not hanging out behind like last week.
No. It's not in the background. You might see in the background. We got the "This is Anfield" sign.
I need that. Yeah. I need that. This is Emirates. Now that we're doing well, I need a little sign here, bro. Top of the table. This is Emirates.
I don't need that for another 2 years, bro. I'll wait. I don't need that for another 2 years. Now, as you can see, obviously, Addy's not here. He's obviously Addy's troubled quite a bit this year, to be honest with you. So, well, he came back with a little vlog, so he can't join us today. And I just thought he's probably right. You saw we had Drew on last week after the loss to Arsenal, so it's only right to get you back after a after a massive win because today was a big game. So no, it was only right we saw we get you back. You guys had a big week off the back of that Arsenal defeat. So it's only right. It's only right we get
7-1 spanking on Rangers, bro.
Yeah. What a week! Like I was in a depressed state last week, and then to have the turnaround to be so quickly 1 week later after two. This has been the best week of our season by an absolute mile. So yeah, I'm very happy to be back here, back to back. First time doing back to back with you guys as well. So that's having me.
Now it's funny though because I think last week before we left off, we touched on Salah and his position. Look at the difference a week make. Comes off the bench. I don't know whether what are your thoughts on him being on the bench? Do you think that played a part into him into his performance on Wednesday and today?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I was a bit surprised that he was on the bench versus Rangers because I know it's only Rangers, but we did need the win, and because we got Ajax away and then Napoli at home, and Napoli are flying. So I was kind of like, we really needed the 3 points versus Rangers. So I thought Klopp might maybe start him the first 60 and then take him off. But when he came on, I mean, we had a terrible first half versus Rangers, but then the second half was excellent, and then we just got better and better as the subs came on. And Salah was just like a man who really wanted to prove a point. Like he played more centrally, as you mentioned before. We spoke last week about how he's been, isolated on the wing and not been in goal scoring positions. And then he comes on versus Rangers, and he scored this 6-minute hat trick, first fastest ever hat trick in Champions League history. Also makes him the highest goal scorer for an English team in Champions League history. Mm-hmm. And it just shows you the quality of this guy. I mean, I don't know if he's not to talk too much about the Rangers game, but he scored the second goal he scored versus Rangers. And I think if a guy who has no confidence or is low on confidence, everyone was saying, to put that kind of finish away where he just kind of really slowed himself down, it was chaos around him, he just put his foot on the ball and slotted it past the keeper. I thought, he's back. And I know how Salah is. When he has one of them goals, he's just he's gonna go back and forth. And today he was just unbelievable. He was like a man. You know what it was today? There was guys like there, him and Van Dijk in particular. You could tell their pride was hurt, and it's the talk of was Haaland, and Haaland's gonna destroy Van Dijk, and Van Dijk's Anfield unbeaten record's gonna end, and Haaland's the new superstar of the league. And I think those two took it personally. To quote Michael Jordan, and I think
and I took that personally.
Yeah, and I believe that because today it was almost like they were saying, when it's the big game, everyone's watching today, and I'm letting the league know that we're not done.
Yeah, I'm still the man. You know that scene in Paid in Full. I ain't snitching on nobody in Harlem because when I come back, I'ma still be the man. Without Salah, I know he's a new one on the block. But I'm still the man.
You took the words out of my mouth. Because when I watched the game, I was out, so I watched it on the phone. But Van Dijk and Salah's performance in particular, that was my fault. I think they went into that game thinking we have a point to prove that this new boy, obviously, Haaland's coming. Yeah, it's all great, but they need to understand that we're not done yet. That's the type of performance both of them pull up. For me, when I was watching the game, I just thought you guys, it wasn't so much that, as I was talking off air, it wasn't so much that the result, it was the performance. I was quite pulled back by the performance, especially in the first half. I thought City came into the second half to start off really well, and you guys were quite fortunate that they didn't get that goal. We'll talk about the decision in a bit, but it was more the performance. What are your thoughts on the performance?
Yeah, same. I was delighted. I mean, the start, I was just so happy because I've been in this mode now, and I think the team's been in this mode where it's like, okay, we're just waiting to go 1-0
Just waiting to concede.
Yeah. And I remember I was looking, I was like, okay, how long is it going to be today? 1 minute, 2 minutes? and we just came flying out the blocks like we did, like we usually do when we were playing well. We started really strong. We got into them physically as well. And I think we came with the correct attitude today. What was probably different from what we played when we played City in recent years is that I don't think we tried to attempt to play them as an equal. It's almost like we understood that they're the better team right now, and we're going to beat them in the way that we can. And what we did that was good. We made it hard work for them. We battled. Our pressing was excellent. We got physical. We didn't shirk any challenges. So the attitude was just spot on from the get go, and we played at our tempo. When I think Liverpool's best when it's really direct, fast football. And yeah, we were always happy to concede the ball to them, but with the understanding that we've got the firepower on the counter attack that can hurt them. And I think that was evident from the get go. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had vast majority of the ball. They kept it well, and I think what their tactic was, they were trying to quieten the crowd down in it. And there was a period after about 10 minutes where they did for a while, but the start was excellent. I was just so happy to see us finally just get off on the front foot in the game and not have to be chasing the game almost from the get go. Yeah.
What was your thoughts though when you felt like when Salah missed that chance in the first half? What was going through your head?
You know what? I was just thinking, you're thinking that's the chance.
Yeah,
and we've blown it. that was my honest thinking. Because you know how it is when you play City, you don't get loads of good chances. And it wasn't just that one. There was a few. That one he actually made a few shot of. But there was a few with Jota, Harvey Elliott. They got the ball in the box, made the wrong choice, didn't actually lead to a shot. Because I think we're getting these great opportunities on the break. You've got to take one because they're going to score eventually. So I was really worried when he missed that one. I mean, it was a great save in the end, actually. I thought he'd actually put it wide at first. But it was a good save, but you shouldn't be giving the keeper the opportunity to save it there, and especially a player of Salah's quality. But yeah, I mean, we rode our luck and we got away with it. But yeah, at that point, I was quite worried. I was thinking, okay, we've probably blown our best opportunity now.
Yeah. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because as you said, at first, I didn't even think the keeper saved it. But for the fact that the keepers actually had got fingertips on it, then yeah, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But as you say, you should, especially from Salah, you should be scoring that type of goal. Obviously, the second half, I thought, to be honest, I thought you guys were the better team in the first half. They had City had the ball, but you expect City to have a lot of the ball anywhere in any given match. Second half, they came up flying, City, and then they scored that goal. For me, I've always said this. I think we talked about this in the podcast, and it's like when you watch a decision live, it's totally different from when you slow it down. When you slow it down, the more you slow it down, the more you watch it looks worse and worse and worse. And then I've listened to Pep and Bernardo at the end of the game, and they're very right. So their thoughts on the game is, look, I don't,
bro.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're saying it's not a foul, because if you slow it down, you can clearly see that it's pulled Fabinho down. I think it's quite clear to see you did pull it. But there's not much in it if you're watching it in a live play. But when you slow it down, then you can see, and I think Mickey Richards was touching on this, it's like it's as if he's re-reffing the game, because that's not clear and obvious error. But then the thing is, it's like if you've let so much go, you have to let that go. But then this is where VAR now comes into it, because like VAR is not reffing the game, it's the ref that's reffing the game, and the ref has let so much go. And once VAR steps in, the ref is gonna have to look at it and think, okay, cool, look, he has pulled him, and I'm gonna have to get that. But if he's consistent with his decision making throughout the whole game, it's not. He shouldn't have pulled that back. But I'm not gonna say it's not a foul. It is a foul. But from the replay, you can clearly see he's pulled it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I thought it was a foul in real time. I was screaming at the TV when he didn't give it. And then, but the one point I would agree with is, like you said, the ref, I mean, he was letting way too much go, in my opinion, the whole game. But that's the theme of the game. So it was strange because, like, the players, there was time. I mean, Salah must have got wrestled to the ground about 4 times. That's what got Klopp sent off in the end. But then he gives that one for Fabinho. Well, he didn't. The referee was going to let it go. But yeah, so it's that consistency, like we've talked about. It's kind of like you're playing a rough physical game, but then you pulled that back. But I mean, for me, it was a foul. So I straight away I was like, that's a foul. I was surprised he didn't pull it up, but yeah, in line with the game, it probably didn't meet the theme of the game, because the game he was letting pretty much anything go. There was some tough tackling and a lot of especially shirt pulls. There was so much shirt pulling in the game that he was just kind of just letting happen. So yeah, it was a strange one. What I would say though, which they didn't put up on the coverage, was
Alisson.
Well, the Alisson, which I actually didn't think that. I thought that he didn't have enough of his hand on the ball. But what it was, that was from the Salah shot that there should have been a corner.
And they gave it a goal kick.
They gave it a goal kick, and then that happened later. So there was like a catalogue of sort of mistakes through the whole passage of play. So it's just that kind of thing of, yeah, maybe you could say City were a bit unlucky, but I thought it was a foul. And
now, I think you're right. I think I'll be honest. I thought it was a foul. But if you was to look into in terms of like the whole game mentality, you just have to be consistent. And I think what even ruins it, the decision more, is the fact that Salah one that you're talking about. How can you not give that Salah one as foul?
That was crazy.
It literally wrestled him to the ground.
There's pictures of him. He's like hanging off him, like his legs are in the air. Like it's crazy.
And then you give that. It's just it's like I'm not going to deny it if a foul. I'm pretty much I'm agreeing with you, but you just can't. And this is what VAR comes into place, and it's slightly ruined the game, because the referee he's reffing the game in his own way, and he's obviously made the decision that I'm going to let a lot of this little fouls go. Do you know what I mean? And when VAR comes to it and you slow it down, it's clear that it pulled him down. So you're going to have to give it, especially when the VAR sends you to the monitor.
Yeah, once it goes to the monitor, you know they're changing their mind. So yeah, it was a straight. I mean, Anthony Taylor didn't want to give it 100%. He didn't even look, he waved it off straight away.
Yeah.
Because he was like that all game. Like I said, anything around there was a lot of stuff like that. Salah, especially he had the beating of Cancelo and others all game, but they were just pulling back, and he was just like, yeah, whatever. Which kind of leads me to, Salah and Mane says to get a lot of criticism for taking tumbles, and this is the reason why players fall down, because players like that, it's almost like they're punished for their own strength. It's like, it's almost like, Salah's a strong guy, he can hold defenders off, so that gives them like a free reign to just hang on to his shirt, and unless he falls down. So it kind of, that's, I mean, that kind of refereeing leads to some knock-on effect, and that's what you get. Leads the players having to cheat to get a foul. So yeah, that's my problem with just kind of refereeing in general. If you just ref the game properly, you kind of stamp all those other things out as well.
Yeah, talking about Salah and Salah, the turn. What your thoughts? I don't know whether you put much blame on him, but for me as a fullback, if I know I'm the last man, there's no need for me to try and get myself ahead of him there. Do you know what I mean? Because rightly so, what Salah done, there's not many people that be able to do that in the squad, and just literally use his body to turn him and the touch to bring it down. I would just allow him to have the ball. Do you know what I mean? Because there's players in front of you anyway that can support you if he does have the ball in front of you. But Cancelo don't make that much mistake, so you can give him the benefit of the doubt. But the turn was beautiful from Salah though.
Yeah, I thought City defended quite poorly from counter-attacks all game, to be honest, and they left a lot of men up the pitch, which is suicide versus a player like Salah and Jota, who thrive on that kind of space. Like you said, he probably would have been better off just letting him have the ball and letting him run at him. That means he has to beat you. Where Salah loves it when people get tight to him, because he's one of the best in the business on the turn. And yeah, I mean, I had a feeling as soon as it's one of my favorite things for us is when Alisson catches the ball from the corner, because my first thought is that he's got that kick. It always looks like a fluke because he always falls over on his ass, but it always seems to end up right on Salah's foot somehow. Anyway, and when I saw that, and I was just like, okay, the way he took that first touch was just perfect. And he just, when he spun him, you knew, okay, cool, he's gone. There's no one who can catch him. And it's just now for him to put it away. And man, when that goal went in, the relief, I mean, that was the most I've celebrated a goal in a long time. I was just like, and then you could probably see it from the pictures on TV. The crowd went crazy. The stadium after that was just, absolutely rocking, because everyone knew what that meant. One, we hadn't been in the lead in a football match in God knows how long. And then two, the magnitude of who we're playing. Everyone thought we were going to lose today, including our own fans. I came into the game with zero expectations. I had mentally prepared myself for a defeat, a heavy one as well. And then and then when that went in, you saw the time on the clock, you're like, wow, okay, this could be it. This could be, season, kickstart to the season. So yeah, no, it was a great moment, and just him just showing his class, because that's what the best players do. When they're not playing well, they answer the critics, they come back, they never go too long playing badly, and he just showed his class there, because there's not many players that could do that to a player maybe as good as Cancelo.
Oh no, I get you. Cam, what are you saying about the goal?
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible decision from Cancelo, man. There's just no need. There's just no need. And it's going to be the first thing Pep probably tells him tomorrow when they bring him to training. It's not much to tell him. It's just no need. You don't have to do that. You're the last man. You just maybe Cancelo's not regularly the last man. Kyle Walker is, because Kyle's normally the recovery man, isn't it? I don't think Kyle does that. Kyle's been in that position many a times, last man with someone that he just stands and lets him control it and jockeys and waits for his teammates to catch up with him, which is what Cancelo's got to do. But Cancelo's a front-footing player anyway. You watch him when he plays on the front foot all the time. He always wants to get on things and get in front of things and stop things hitting him. He'd rather hit before he gets hit. And some people say that's a good way to defend, but I just think in certain situations, yes, it is, but in certain situations, you just got to take the handbrake, put the handbrake on and be like, cool, I'm just going to stand behind Salah. If he controls it, great. If he does something mad, I'm here. I'm going to stay in front of him. The moment he attempts to go and win it, like you said, Drew, Salah's just going to roll him, bro. And Salah's rolled many a man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's just many a man. Yeah. So it was just for me, it's just a terrible decision from Cancelo. And I'm sure if he had that situation back 99 times, he's not going to do that 99 times. He's just going to stand up, literally just stand 100%. Up and let Salah control it, and then wait for Diaz and Akanji and Ake and everyone just to back him up. So I thought it was a stupid decision, but great by Salah, good goal by Salah, and give Liverpool the win, innit?
Yeah, do you think it's 100%. A bit like we were talking about Trent last week? And
yeah, but I hope Cancelo gets ripped though tomorrow. I hope he gets ripped by the media and everyone, because if it was Trent, he'd be getting ripped. So I hope Cancelo gets ripped.
Well, he's another player, isn't it, who gets lauded for his his attacking ability. But it's that thing we were talking about. You're still a defender. You've got to defend sometimes. So yeah,
I think it wouldn't get ripped because obviously it will get scrutinized for the isolated incident that just happened. But I just think because, like you said, he's not in that position many other times. Like it's normally Kyle Walker that tends to be in that position, so he's quite lucky. But now he has that defensive responsibility. Like, so I think everyone just probably give him like the blight of this occasion. But if it does happen again, then it will probably like it's just. I just thought it was stupid because you know what? The reason why I thought, even if like it's just a player that's in front of you, it's Salah. Do you know what I mean? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to prove? That let him have the ball. Just let him have it. It's silly. When I saw it, I just shook my head. I think, what is it? Like, what is it? And then obviously the crowds were already going mad. And that's the last thing you want at Anfield. You just want to fight the fans, innit? But when you get the fans hyped,
the cop end as well, bro.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want. So yeah. And I was saying this, I just want to get your thoughts. I think we were talking about this. I was just saying, I think I might be like, I'll get your thoughts on it anyway, I might be wrong, but I just felt like Pep should just go into that game and I felt like they respected Liverpool too much. And Liverpool hasn't really done anything done much this season to earn that kind of respect. Kind of like, it should have gone with the same approach Arsenal went last week. Like, just go in and go on the front foot. And I just thought you showed Liverpool too much respect. And and it just gave Liverpool the confidence that they need and the fans. It just kept them quiet and he was on the front foot throughout the game. You wouldn't have got that. I think they were just playing with the ball far too much and they weren't on the front foot like they usually do that. They were just trying to keep the ball at the back, pass the ball in the middle of the park. They weren't making those forward passes that they usually make, like those killer passes. And I don't know what it is. I think he approached this game like the previous season when obviously both teams are going for the lead. It's normally a tight game. And I don't think he needed to approach the game like that at school.
100%.
Yeah, you are like the form team. You just come back, you just smash United. You also the beat in the season. But you are the form team. Just go into the game and Liverpool already like scared of you coming.
Liverpool conceded 3 goals at home to Brighton.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brighton are nowhere near as good as you.
And it just epitomizes basically what I'm trying to say is the fact that how the hell Liverpool's gone against all these teams and conceded goals, and Man City can't score a goal.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of it is that factor of that it was us at home. If that Anfield was the game at the Etihad, I think he would have approached it very differently because, like you said, I felt, he's had a few games where we've played them in the past, or we've gone into big leads after like 10, 15 minutes.
3-0, 2-0 up. Yeah,
exactly. And I think he was trying to avoid that situation again. Okay, with take the sting out of them, get the crowd quiet, and then we'll play our game. And I felt, like you said at the beginning, their defense was just keeping it, and it was kind of working to a little extent. The crowd was quiet, but we were just relentless in our we kept going and forced mistakes and took the game to them. So I think it was that thing of Pep. I could see what his plan was, but like you said, if you're the team that's in really good form, you're scoring goals, you've got Haaland who can score at will at the moment. Why would you sort of take the the backward step and allow us to play our game? And I think what we also maybe confused them a bit as well, because we did adjust our tactics slightly as well. Like I said, we were kind of willing to let them have the ball. We kind of had like a sort of bit, kind of like almost like a 4-2-4/4-4-2 formation. So I think they were kind of trying to figure us out as well. So I think that made it the first half was quite interesting to watch for me, because it was like I thought we were playing really well, but I think City were always trying to work out, okay, what should we do here? They couldn't, because they were keeping the ball but not really getting any penetration. And I think it took them a while to actually grow into the game. They were much better second half, but yeah, the first half I felt like they just didn't really know how to approach the game, and we kind of had clear tactic and a clear mindset. It was interesting because before the game in the week, Klopp wasn't his usual positive self in the press conferences. I was quite worried. He kept saying, "Oh, City are the best team in the world at the moment," and they're always complimentary, but he was being like even more so. It was almost like accepting that we're not an equal team anymore, and that had me worried. But then, like you said, Pep was still saying, "Oh, they're still the team from last year that nearly won the quadruple and all this stuff." So he obviously had it in his mind that, "Oh, okay, I'm not treating this Liverpool differently to how I usually treat them." But maybe it's that thing of like Pep, he's done in other big games, even like Champions League matches, where he's changed the tactics when his team's been smashing it the week before, kind of maybe overthinking it. So I think he probably, he did get the approach wrong, because there was no need for them to change really. And we had a good game versus Rangers, but we're still not like, back to, I wouldn't have considered that, we were ready to, didn't think we were ready for this game personally. And especially when I saw we had injuries, I saw Milner at right back, the changes we had to make, I was just like, okay, well, this could be bad. But
when I saw Milner right back, I think, come on, like this is, what's the point of resting all these players midweek? Like Haaland didn't play. I think a few of them players didn't play midweek. Like you took some of them off. Like, what is the point? Like you got Milner. Like actually say you're all really. You have Milner playing right back. You got to attack him. What? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, because Konate played versus Rangers, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's going to play versus City. Then we can play Joe Gomez right back. Yeah, so I had that little bit of like a bit more faith. I was starting to build. Then when I heard Konate was out, and I was like, Trent's
Gomez has to go centre half.
Gomez has to go centre half. Milner's got to go right back.
Millie's got to go right back.
Yeah, then you start panic stations. You're like, oh god, now we've got a makeshift defense from a defense that's not playing well anyway. And the last
brilliant to have Robbo back though, at left back.
Oh man, yeah, big shout out to him. I'm glad you mentioned him, because I mean, I like Tsimikas. He's done but he's there.
Yeah, but he ain't Robbo.
No, he ain't Robbo. He's definitely not.
Yeah, nobody in the league is Robbo.
Exactly. Tsimikas is what you say. Like he's an able deputy. You don't mind a guy like that for a game or two coming off the bench. But Robbo, the difference it's just his intensity. Like
I don't think there's no one like him in the league that's as intense as him.
The guy is just an animal, man. Like I said, he raises. Like you can see why he's the captain of his national team. His attitude,
100%.
One of the best I've ever seen from a footballer. He just comes with 100% every game. He literally, he's that guy. He never comes off the pitch. I don't think anyone would have said to change him out, Robert. You didn't try hard there.
Yeah.
Or you had a day off there. Like he gives the same energy, whether it's the Champions League final or it's the Carling Cup third round. You know what I mean? He's just that. That's how he is. And it was nice to have him back because, especially with the likes of, the other influential guys like Henderson and Milner and Van Dijk have not been playing so well. I felt we needed another guy on the pitch to really bring that attitude that we needed today.
Of course.
Before we move on to but to be honest, we can't really go in depth with like Arsenal and United today because we weren't live, so we didn't really get to watch the game live. So what are you expecting from like Liverpool moving forward? Because I think you got West Ham next at home. Who you got at home?
Yeah, we got a decent run of fixtures. I think it was West Ham.
We got West Ham at home, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had I think it's a Carling Cup game versus Derby, and there was another league game versus a sort of another mid.
Yeah, so you got West Ham at home, and then the next in the league.
I think it might.
And then
we got West Ham at home, then Forest away.
Then Forest,
yeah, that's it. Nottingham Forest, yeah.
And then Leeds at home.
Yeah, exactly. So we've actually got, so we've got a decent run of fixtures. The only thing I would say, they are very close together because this World Cup coming up.
Yeah.
I think we're playing a game pretty much every 2-3 days for the next until the World Cup comes. However, they are, what you'd probably say on paper, winnable fixtures. Yeah. And I just hope now this gives them the sort of belief and confidence. It can go two ways. This could either have been a one-off, and it was the sort of our cup final, and everyone gave everything they got, and they just go back to the same old shit next week. Or this could be the rocket up the arse to say, you know what. Like I said, if you look at the table, it's not an impossible task. I'm not talking titles and stuff, but to get back up there with Arsenal and Spurs and Chelsea, that's not, if you get a good run together, you could be back up in those positions in
100%.
So I hope that is the rocket that we needed. And not just that, because we've got other things to play for. It's not just the Premier League. There's the Champions League, which is a competition we was excelling. We won both domestic cups last year. So So this season is far from over. So I hope that spreads to the team to realize, actually, let's get our act together and let's push on for something. So for me as a fan, I'm not thinking title chase. I mean, maybe last today on Sky Sports, Michael Richards was talking about, they could be back in the title race. Last week, everyone was saying that, we might not even be in the top 4 race. So
that really could back in the title race though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, there you go. So it just shows you how fickle it can be. But for me, I'm just happy to see, a win versus a good team, hopefully some form. And yeah, for me, I want to come away from this season with like at least minimum as a top 4, and challenge for something, because I feel that's still available to us. It's not like it's January and you're out of everything. There's loads of time to make something happen.
Yeah, you're right. And then obviously one thing I'm afraid of, Liverpool, one thing for sure that you've shown in the past is the fact that once you get a bit of like rhythm, you definitely know how to like continue to be consistent with it. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But we'll see. Cool. Ham, you want to add anything else with Liverpool before we move on?
No, I just thought, what did you lot talk about? The foul?
Yeah, we talked about the foul.
Anthony Taylor. Yeah, simple. I just thought that was shocking from Anthony Taylor, from VAR and Anthony Taylor, because it's not like Anthony Taylor didn't see it. He's looking right at it and he waved play on. So you just got to let him get on with it. VAR doesn't have to interfere with everything with football, especially big games like that. And I'm not taking nothing away from the small teams, but if it's a big game like that, Anthony Taylor's seen it and he said play on, just like he said play on for the whole flipping game, then we're not going to call that back. Because if we're going to do that, then we might as well do that for everything for the whole game, and let's call every shirt pull back. Let's call every push in the back. It's just silly. Like, fair enough, you might, in hindsight, it's a foul. But the refereeing the game on the pitch ain't giving it. We've all played football at different levels where the ref ain't giving it. You're hard done by. Cool. I've always said the referee in this country is shit. But I've also said, I never expect the referee to be perfect. I'm not perfect when I'm playing football. I'm watching my Arsenal, but they're not perfect every game. So we're not asking the refs to be perfect, to be flipping consistent. So if Anthony Taylor's seen it and he said, you could see him say, play on. Bro, play the damn game on, bro. Literally, Drew. Play the damn game on. No one's calling nothing back. Play the game on. A ref on the field has seen it. It's not like he didn't see it. And he can say, oh, he didn't see it. Anthony didn't see it, but there was a shirt pull here. We think you should have a look at it. No. And he should turn around and say, big man, I saw it. It's not a foul. I'm playing on. All right? I'm playing on end long.
What did you think of his general performance throughout the game? Because I thought he was just poor in general. I mean, it was interesting because the commentators were talking like, oh, he's had a great game. You know, he's let the game
Because he's
flow.
letting the game
I was like,
flow.
what? Because he's letting them foul each other.
Because everyone's getting back.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, great for a neutral maybe, because it's like, you know, I think Klopp said in his interview after, he goes, the game wouldn't have been any worse if he called a few fouls. You know, it was a good game anyway. And not just for Liverpool, for even for City, there was just like, it was a game that was just like, you're letting everything go. And it's a two quality teams. And even sometimes it makes the game get bitty, where, you know, you're just letting people just, you know, like sort of
foul each other.
Charge and foul each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he got a handle. I think he's in his head, he was like, oh, it's a big game. I'm going to let everything go and just let the players play. But you're there as a ref for a reason, to sort of like, you know, to stamp out sort of excessive fouling. And these are teams that both got players who are tactical foulers as well. So you got to, you got
especially City.
Oh man, City, the kings of that. So I mean, I just couldn't believe, particularly the treatment of Mo Salah today. I was just like, what has he got to do to get a free kick today? There was just some, I mean, if they almost scored in the first half on one as well. Again, it was a blatant foul, and he was just like nothing. But yeah, I thought he was quite poor overall.
If it's not Mike Oliver, the rest of them don't make no sense to me, including Anthony Taylor. And Mike's not like, he ain't 10 out of 10, but he's the best out of a bad bunch. So if he ain't refereeing the big games, you just know it's peak for you. If they got him, or what's that other donut that refed our game today? If you got donuts refereeing games, including Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor managed referees big games as well, you know, in Europe and all them things there. He's our representation, you know.
Yeah,
he represents the Premier League.
Crazy.
He's shocking, bro. If he's not Mike, then they're all shocking, to be fair. And like I said today, that's not his fault, that's VAR, but it's a foul. So the fact that he didn't even see that it's a foul, is bad on him. But the fact, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that VAR now said, yeah, we know you've seen it, and we know you said on the pitch it's not a foul, but we're still telling you, big man, it's a foul. Like, it's just a joke, man. It's a joke. But hey, Liverpool got the win in it, and it makes the title race interesting.
I was gonna say, you asked the fans, must be happy. So you know,
4 points, baby. 4 points. 4 points, baby.
And just a nice segue, because I was gonna touch on Arsenal next. As I said, like both our games weren't live, so we can't go in depth in terms of like the game. But are you happy with points? I guess you're happy with like the 3 points, isn't it?
Happy? What adjective? What adjective are you using, bro? I'm ecstatic. I'm over the flipping moon, the stars, the universe, bro. You okay? It's Leeds away, bro.
But you know what? Yeah, the goal though, the pass and the finish,
beautiful.
Disgusting, beautiful. Like the right foot, I think, where the hell did he get this right foot from? I ain't seen this in a while. I don't think I've ever seen that from him. When I'm talking about it in a while, but
I was thinking the exact same thing. Saka's development is just crazy. He just
it's crazy.
He's getting better and better.
Yeah, 100%.
Nah, you see that finish, yeah? This is why it's good to speak things into existence, yeah? Good or bad. So I'm watching the game on Thursday against Bodo Glimt. We win 1-0, yeah? Saka scores. We get a lovely chance, lovely bit of football back, because we didn't really play great on Thursday either. A lovely bit of football. Comes to Saka, right foot, shanks it out the stadium. I don't know if you lot saw it on Twitter where it landed in the guy's house. The ball landed in the guy's house. He shanks at it. Now, I've always said, I don't think he's the greatest striker of a ball, and his right foot is almost non-existent, isn't it? But I was talking to my boy after the game, and we were talking about the game, and obviously I'm talking about Saka. Obviously, I love Saka. And I'm saying, yeah, you see that right foot? That's the game changer for him. Because him beating people now, it's almost got that nailed on almost. He's skipping past defenders almost for fun now. That's why he's getting doubled and triple team, yeah? Because people respect him in the league. And he's left-footed, isn't it? So you expect him to be good. But it's that right foot. It's that defenders not being able to just show him on the right all the time. The fact that if he can get that right foot going, now they're almost like, I kind of have to respect his right foot, and it opens up for his left foot. That's why I don't understand why players don't train both feet. Like, be ambidextrous, use both feet, because defenders have to make a decision. Tom's a defender, so if I know someone shit on their left foot, I'm gonna stand on his left foot. You're gonna go on your right. So the fact that, and then when he scored that today, I literally went, yeah. So I'm talking about, son. That's what I'm talking about. It comes on your right foot, hit it. And both of you watch me play. Both of you know, if it comes to my left foot, I'm hitting it with my left foot. I'm not shifting back to my right. Because there's some balls that come to you that you can't shift it. If you shift it, there's no chance. You're almost going to have to shift it, and you're going to have to find a pass. So Saka, with the ball that Odegaard gives him there, Odegaard's weighted it perfectly that you have to shoot, big man. Whether it goes over the stadium, out the stadium, or in the goal, you have to shoot. And yeah, lovely goal for him. And he's just, the fact that, I mean, I said it, and everyone else said it. He had a slow start to his season, but definitely picked up now in recent weeks, bro. Definitely picked up. And lovely goal.
Yeah, I think, I mean, left footers are notorious for being one-footed. It's definitely just a left-footed person's trait, I think, anyway. But yeah, I was shocked to see him and the power he got behind it, the accuracy.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, he's with Saka. I think what impresses me the most is the status. You know, when a player is becoming a star and the main man. If you asked me when Saka broke in, I thought, okay, he looks a good young player who's going to be useful to Arsenal and could be a good player. I don't think I saw like, okay, he's going to be Arsenal's star player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's literally, it's like he's decided with this, like, we've got this young team and I'm going to be the star of this team. That's
I'm
like,
the main man.
There's a few of them going for it, him, Martinelli, Odegaard. But he's almost like, I'm putting myself in there and like, I'm just like, he's almost the face of Arsenal now. If you ask a bunch of Arsenal, like young Arsenal fans, maybe like under the age of 16, who's your favorite player? I bet most of them would say Saka.
Yeah.
And he's having that trajectory, and he seems like he's got the personality, because when you hear him talk, he's like quiet, shy boy.
Yeah.
Not the sort of the sort of ego or attitude you expect of a sort of like a star sort of thing. But when he's on the pitch, he's growing and growing, like as with each season. And what is he now? 21, maybe.
Yeah. Him and my name 21.
Yeah, so yeah, man, it's impressive, man. Like the guy is really just getting better and better, and then he's becoming like one of the league's big players. So yeah, that's the thing, when the team is improving, getting better, and he's growing with that Arsenal team. He's got a manager who's making him an important player, and it's almost like they're all coming up together. So yeah, it's really impressive, because I didn't see that level of talent in him, but clearly, got that wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in terms of like Arsenal, I think he is slowly becoming like their star. And I think everything's just working out perfectly for him, with the likes of like Ozil going, Aubameyang, all of them guys going, and because obviously he came from the academy from a young age, it's like it's almost perfect for him. Like I know like Odegaard and Martinelli are trying to fight for that position too, but it's slightly an easy route for him because he's been there for a long time. So, and it's just becoming Arsenal's best player. It's becoming one of the stars of the Premier League, and that's the scary thoughts about it. And that's one thing I'm not happy about. All right, be Arsenal star player.
It's not the league star player. Yeah.
And when you're one of the Premier League star player, you're ball lost, full stop. Do you get what I mean? Like when you're talking about Premier League star player, you're talking Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne. Do you get what I'm saying? That Salah, Mane. You don't want that. I don't want to hear that kind of noise from Arsenal.
It's the fear. It's the fear other players have of you as well.
Exactly.
Like when you're a star man and you're on the pitch, it's the way defenders start treating you with more respect, start backing off.
Respect. I just said we're already going like 2-3 man marking all the time, and now when you're showing the quality on your right foot, like, I just didn't see that.
Once you're being able to use like your left foot being good, and you're already getting double man and all that, but now when you're able to like use your right and the quality that he showed today on his right foot, it just makes it even harder for defenders, because as Han was saying earlier, as a defender, usually you want to put on your weaker foot. But now knowing that you can use, obviously I know he's only one, I don't want us to get over the top. This is the first.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Yeah.
But if he gets any better using his right, then yeah, we're in for trouble then. Yeah, like, and you can only start comparing him to like, I won't start comparing him, but if you want to be the star man of the Premier League and want to be one of the stars of the Premier League, then the names I mentioned earlier, the greats, like one of my favorite players in the Premier League when he was there was what's his name? Hazard.
Eden Hazard, Gareth Bale,
those like the wingers, you know what I mean? Those great wingers.
Yeah, Ronaldo,
yeah. So if you get up there and you're able to like, and obviously Salah and Mane of recent years, if you're able to be consistent, then
Raheem, he's English like him.
Yeah, Raheem, it could be Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. So
I think the test is because there's kind of two stages to it. I think as a young player, you explode on the scene, no one knows who you are, and you can tear up the league. But then it comes next year now, and everyone's played against you, and then okay, I know what you can do. Can you do it again? And that's the test that he's passing now, because this is what his fourth year, maybe third, or at least.
Third, I think.
Yeah. And that's what that's the test I was talking about, becoming a star, because now people know Well, they think they know how to prepare. They prepared against you. They've got video of you. They, they can all that preparation. You're not an unknown quantity, and the fact that you're still coming and getting better, that shows the hallmarks of, okay, this guy's here to stay, and he's going to be a real player for years to come. And he's an England regular. People are saying he's one of the first. He's to be one of the first names on the team sheet now. So
the right wing position is his, bro. If we go 4-3-3, he's number one. He's going right wing, bro.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If you said to me 2 years ago, I would have been like, well, who's going to be the person in that position? Guaranteed. I would have said Jadon Sancho. And now look at the position. Those two guys have, like, their roles have just reversed completely. Sancho's struggling, and Sancho and Saka is kind of way ahead of him in the pecking order.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're rightly so. You're rightly so. But in terms of like the Arsenal game, obviously you guys had like an escape in a sense, because obviously Bamford missed the penalty. What's your thought?
My guy.
What's your thought on the second incident when Gabriel received?
Him and Gabriel.
Yeah, they gave him a red card, and the ref obviously went to VAR, changed his mind, and no longer a penalty. What's your thoughts on that?
We got VAR. You need VAR.
He likes it now.
You can't leave everything up to the ref. Okay, can't leave everything up to the ref. Nah, it was just, that's heart in mouth moment, isn't it? Because it's the game's ours, isn't it? It's not like they was attacking us. Ramsdale's got the ball in his hand. It's 91, 92 minutes.
It's late, yeah.
Weathered the storm. They missed a pen. Ramsdale's made more saves this game than he's made all season. He might have not turned up in the 9 games before. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, United, we lost, but today was the first time they've been under sustained pressure for a half. And Ramsdale's just showing that I'm a top goalkeeper, innit? And then the last incident of the game, it had to be Gabriel, because to be fair, he's the only asterisk that we've got against us this season. All the boys are doing well. He's the only one that still makes me a bit jittery, a bit nervy when I'm watching us play. I love the lad. I think 23, Brazilian, came out of nowhere, French league. And I think he's acclimatized to the Premiership really well, one of the top defenders in the league. But this season, for whatever it is, whether it's Saliba next to him, making him look worse than he actually is, whatever it is, he's a chink in armor, innit? So I know if I'm a team and I'm playing Arsenal, the first name on the board when we're doing our meetups is Gabriel, number 6. There we go. We can get something out of him. And today was nothing. Like, yeah, Bamford has made the first contact, yeah? But big man, you don't need to be raising your legs, bro. Because that's a lucky escape. That's really, really, really a lucky escape. VAR could have easily said, we're not getting involved. We're not getting involved. I'm saying it's a 50-50 out of nothing. Bamford he's lent on him. He's a big centre-half. He's fell down. He's kicked out. He hasn't really kicked out. He's kind of like falling out, but he knows what he's doing. That's the thing about it. Gabriel knew exactly what he was doing the whole time. And he just got away with it. We've got away with one. I don't think it was a red card anyway. And therefore, I don't think it was a pen. I think all the decisions were right in the end. I don't even think you should have got a yellow card, to be fair. But if that's going to be the worst thing we're going to get out of that situation, then we'll take that all day. You saw Gabriel kind of giving like the referee a massage as he's giving him a yellow card. Did you see it? When he's like, he's nodding and just like, yeah, it's fine, I'll take the yellow. It's fine, I'll take the yellow. It's all right, I'll take the yellow. I'll take the yellow, 3 points and a clean sheet. I get a bonus for that, by the way, clean sheet bonus. So that's more money in my account this month too. So I'm going to take that. But I'll just think there's just no need. And I just hope Arteta just speaks to him and say, listen, that could have easily cost us 2 points today. If we lose the league, I'm not saying we're going to win it, but we're going to go on to that. If Man City go on 91 and we finish the league on 89 or 90 or something, and you look back at stuff like that and think, games wrapped up away to Leeds, centre-half kicks out of there, centre-forward, Bamford scores a penalty, 1-1, 1 point instead of 3. It's just silly. It's silly. But big up to VAR. You need VAR.
Do you think, they're calling you got Arsenal now, innit? After the last couple of weeks.
Hey, we'll take that. But it wasn't no Arsenal when they give the penalty on Saliba on the handball. Exactly. They could have let that run. This
is how you know you're getting back up to the top again when everyone thinks the refs are on your side. So that's how it works.
Hey, listen. My whole childhood, I thought Man United had 12 men. I thought it was United, Fergie, and the ref. Yeah, they're 13. That's what thank you, Drew. I just forgot that. I forgot about Fergie. They had 11 players, Fergie, and the ref all in their pocket. Howard Webb used to wear the Man United top underneath his refereeing jersey, bro. So I'll take that. If people think we got the refs and VAR, take that all day long.
What's your thoughts on the decision, Drew?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, probably go with what Ham said. I think Gabriel's quite a rash player, isn't he? He's, like you said, he's probably the one player that you look at the Arsenal team, and I think, we're going to talk about them being title contenders, and he's the type of guy I'm thinking as a title winning team ever got a player like that. Do you know what I mean? I was going to ask you, Ham, if you thought, is it time for Ben White to go back in the centre and now that Tommy Assi's back, and put him back at fullback? Because of like how rash Gabriel can be at times.
No, not for me. No, for me, the partnership of Gabriel and Saliba has to form and has to have legs, and they're gonna have to make mistakes. You saw Saliba score own goal this season. You see Gabriel, probably 3 goals have come down his side, and we don't have a left-sided centre half. Unfortunately, we don't have one. If we do go Ben White and Saliba, one of them's gonna have to play in an unnatural position. Yes, it's centre half, but left side, both of them are not left-footed. So Gabriel's the only one that can play there, really and truly, unless we tell Saliba to go there and Ben come in, or Ben can play there. So it will imbalance the team. So for me personally, right now, he just got to get through it. He just got to whether he's going through a bad bit of form. He showed us for 2 years he's a good defender. There's a good defender in there. It's a good defender in there. And so for me personally, obviously you're in the same group chat as me, Drew. So the boys are like, take him out.
In this case,
take him out. But you know me, I've always got more patience with the manager and the players, and I'm more than happy, because like how I watch football, I kind of put myself in players' position. If I'm centre half, I tried to make it a game as a centre half, and I was young and I was making mistakes, and he's making mistakes just in front of 60,000 people every week, innit? But for me, it's fine. He didn't play on Thursday. Sit down, watch the boys. We go again. I don't know who we're playing again. I think we're playing Southampton or something next week.
Yeah, got Southampton next week.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm happy to still go with him and Saliba and just make him play through this bad bit of form. But obviously, if it continues, then big man, you gotta come and sit on the bench with me, bro. You gotta come sit on the bench with me. You can't. We might be going for something historical this year, bro. You can't be the reason why we don't make it, bro. So you're gonna have to come and sit here. And Benjamin's playing out of his skin at right back. Then come play centre half and show this man how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm with you, Ham. I think like the pairing has really worked really well this season. So I think it'll be a bit harsh to just drop him out there. I know he's obviously I think what tends to happen is when you probably is the weakest thing, when you're one of the weakest player in the team. So like you get scrutinized a lot more. It's like everything's gonna get magnified a lot more. So any little mistake you make, like we blow out of proportion. But if you was to look at it in the whole, I think both of them have been brilliant. I think you can't pick 5 centre backs that have been better than him in the Premier League this season. As much as bad as we're saying that it's big, because we're only saying that because of the standards that Arsenal have set this season. So it is a bit harsh to just drop him out straight away. Give him time, and if obviously as Ham said, if he continues, then yeah.
I think if the gaffer did, I don't think many are Arsenal fans that have a problem with it. That's the problem Gabriel has.
Yeah.
Because we're watching us 10 games in, 9 out of 10, and you look at the goals that we are conceding. We're not losing matches, innit? But we're conceding goals. And when you isolate the goals, you're looking Gabriel, Fulham, Gabriel, United, Gabriel, Liverpool. Today, if he gives a penalty away, you're thinking, ooh, we only played 10 games. And that man's 4 or 5 goals are coming down his side.
Yeah.
And for him, it never helps when you're playing in partnerships where he doesn't have a left back to look at, and it's the same left back every game. So he's looking at Zena, then he's looking at KT, then he's looking at Tommy. So that also might affect. Whereas Benjamin and Saliba on that side, it's just them two. Every game in, game out, them two understand each other. And him on the other side, it's kind of like when you look at Liverpool's defense. Liverpool defense is all over the place. The partnerships are very important. Partnerships. You look at Robbo and Van Dijk, stuff don't go down their side, but that's because you got Robbo and Van Dijk down that side. And you look at Trent's side, you think if you move Van Dijk to Trent's side, would goals really come down that side? Probably not as much.
Yeah, it's fair point.
So I think for Gabriel, we just got to go get himself, whether it's KT or Zena, they're going to play there, and we're going to have back 4 that just
Cool.
Gabriel will help him out. But I'm
not to discuss much about the game. Let's just go straight into the big question. Obviously, I'm going to ask you, Drew, because obviously Ham asked you a question last week in terms of like comparing the recent, like the current Arsenal team to the Liverpool team, and like is it Klopp's 2nd season or so, and what your thoughts are on them winning the league. And obviously you said like it's like they're going in the right direction, but it's still quite early. But I think my only thoughts is that they haven't. All it takes is one big injury, right? And I don't think they have the same quality on the bench to step in if needed. But looking at the team now, and if there was to like, look, we're almost going to the World Cup. We go to the World Cup, then January is pretty much around the corner. They could, like, if they're still in a good position, they can easily just buy players and add quality to the team. So what are your thoughts on them like winning the league now?
I mean, Arsenal had an excellent start. Was it 9 wins out of 10?
Yeah.
And I think that's the first test of when you're trying to go for a league title. Was those first 10 games is, you know, either leading the race or staying in the race. Because you can't. What's the old saying? You can't win the league in the first 10 games, but you can definitely
lose it.
Yeah. So you've done that. So that's step one. But the next stage is now with the season, as you've seen, European football started, but now what's also going to come is domestic cup football. So you're going to have Carabao Cup. Then this year you've got the World Cup, which we don't know how it's going to affect anybody, to be honest, because it's never been seen before. And then when you return, there's going to be a huge calendar of games to the rest of the season. FA Cup comes. Now, I know you're thinking there, right, you get to rest players there. But as you said, Tommy, they don't have a huge squad of players. So I've seen even some of the Europa League games, you've rested players, but you can't rest your whole, you're not in a position where you can rest your whole team yet. The squad's not good enough where you can drop 11 players. You know, you haven't got equal quality coming in off the bench yet because you're still in that building process. And I know we spoke about this beforehand, especially in like positions like what happens if Saka gets an injury or needs a rest. Martin, and not just injuries, these are young guys. They need rest. They're gonna have dips in form as well. What you've got right now, you've got everyone is flying higher confidence, you know. But then what happens if there is a little stuttering period? I mean, a guy like Saliba is just new to the league. There's going to be a time where he makes a mistake. How will he react? Saka, again, he's going to get tired. Martinelli he could get tired or have some bad form or get injured. And I can't see any obvious replacements that anywhere near the standard. Even the guys, you know, you let a lot of guys go in the summer, like the likes of Pepe and things like that, who could have maybe done these little jobs for you here. So that's where I think that's what stops Arsenal winning a league. In terms of being contenders, my prediction is I think you've started too well and you've done too much that you're just going to fall away early. What I think is I don't think you're going to make it till May, but I will predict that Arsenal will probably be in and around it to at least March is my prediction. And I think they'll qualify for the Champions League probably quite comfortably. But I think, yeah, one thing is the lack of squad, and two is just the lack of experience as well. Like there's hardly anyone in that Arsenal team who's really, you know, been a part of a successful team or won anything or anything like that. So, and you're going up against a City team who's done this over and over and over
year
again.
after year after year.
Yeah, they know that league, how to navigate a league campaign, you know, when to, you know, like I said, have those scrappy wins or the games that you can play at 60% and still nick a win and things like that. So those are all the things that Arsenal have to learn. And the coach as well. You've got to remember, Arteta is still an inexperienced young coach. He's improving, he's getting better, but these are all things that he has to navigate as well as a coach. Oh, when can I rest my players? Do I go for cups? So as you know, with Liverpool, I'll give you an example. We had a smaller squad. We used to rest everybody in the early cup games and hoping we could get through. A lot of the time you get knocked out. But then you may have to take the criticism from the fans, you know, because they're like, oh, why are you not going for the FA Cup? That could be a trophy for us. But a coach has to think big picture. I need to qualify for the Champions League, or do I go all out and try and win this league title? But that can backfire on you as well. You may end up coming third in the league, knocked out of all the cups early, and the fans are still pissed off at you. So my point is, there's so many, you know, the league season is long, and especially this season, it's going to be extra long. There's a lot of pitfalls that I don't think Arsenal have been through that quite make them, you know, I would say a genuine that they could win it basically. But I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. But I definitely think that the improvement is there. They look like they're, you know, a proper team that can compete. Yeah, but let's see. But you know what? Another big thing as well, I want to see how Arsenal do when they play Man City. Because let's say you beat Man City now, what would that do for this team?
That's why I wanted to play them when we went before the postponed game, man.
Oh, 100%. It would have been good for you if you were playing. It would probably been better for you if you played them last week rather than us. In the form that you imagine that result
100%.
Beating Man City, what that would have done for your fans, what that would have done for Arteta, what that would have done for your players. You would have really had that belief. So, because I know, thinking about again, go back to Liverpool example, I remember we didn't compete with City for the league, but with the year we first got to the Champions League final, but we beat City I think City were absolutely smashing everybody in the league. I think they've won 18 games in a row. And we beat them 4-3 at Anfield, but we went 4-1 up.
4-1 up. Yeah.
And that for me was like the turning point for Klopp. That was the that we believe
we believe,
we are the team now. We're gonna be the ones that are gonna compete with City. So you probably still need a moment like that. But yeah, anyway, so long story short, I'll say you're just gonna fall short. That's what I'll say.
Thank you.
Obviously I'll let you go, Han, but I think whatever I've got to say, I think Drew pretty much summed it up from me too. So what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, not too dissimilar, to be fair. I'm just happy. That I've in my heart, I feel like I've got my Arsenal back, and I just enjoy watching the boys play. And it's that's, like I said, once again, credit to the manager. I'll always give him credit to the signings. But yeah, I just love the way we play. I can get behind the boy. And like I remember telling my brethren last year, 9 out of the 11 players, I love them. And that was last season. And now I love all of them, including Granit Xhaka. Like, what the fuck's happened to me? I like Granit Xhaka. What's happened to me? That's how you know that I'm in love with this team. Like, me and Granit Xhaka, like, I liked Granit Xhaka's post on Instagram the other day. You guys be proud of me. I liked his post the other day on Instagram.
That's growth.
That's growth, bro. That's maturity. That's maturity. But yeah, like I said, in saying that, just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. For me, before the start of the season, before a ball was kicked, I said, I think we'll finish third. And if you give me third now, I'll snap your hands off and say, I'll take that. If it's only, but that's if only Liverpool finish above us. If it's Tottenham finishing above us, then third is dead. Third is dead. But if it's in the order of how the Premier's going, and it's City and Liverpool and it's us, I'll snap your hand off right now. Give me a trophy to go with that, because I always want a trophy every year. I don't care if we finish 17th or third or second. I want a trophy every year, and that's the best that we can hope for. To be fair, I don't see us winning the league because we're going to get injuries. It's a fact. We're going to get injuries because the World Cup is a big factor. We thinned out our squad. Some people might say that was a good thing, less players to work with, so you can get your tactics and message across better. And some people might say it's a bad thing because you do need a bigger squad if you're competing for trophies this year, which is what we're going for. So January is going to be big for us because we're going to have to add bodies in January. It's just a must that we add 2 bodies, whether it's another winger who can give us minutes off the bench, or another centre mid who can go. I think we're pretty stocked defensively. We've got like 2-3 players that can play left back, 4-5 centre halves, 2-3 players that can play right back. So midfield and wide players we're going to need in January. But just enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy it, man. We're doing well. Like you said, crazy things have happened. We're all alive. Leicester City won the bloody league, bro. But when you're going up against that juggernaut that is Man City, that can literally go to a massive... Who else can go to Anfield and have Jack Grealish on the bench, Mahrez on the bench? Yeah. We can never do that. We couldn't go to Anfield and take Saka and Martinelli off, bro, and go play Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson. But who the fuck does that, bro? Who the fuck does that? Who plays Akanji right back and Ake centre back, and Laporte weren't playing and Stones weren't playing? And like you said, they could have easily won the game today. So we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Yeah. We need, like I said, I think maybe like last season I said, in order for us to win the league again, 5-6 more bodies need to come in for us to start competing with City properly. And those 5-6 bodies haven't come in. So enjoy the ride, enjoy it for what it is. I'm fucking loving it. I can't lie to you. So I'm able to say top of the table every week, and long may that continue. And now I can say top of the table, 4 points cushion. No matter what happens this week, guess what? I'm gonna still be top of the table next week Sunday. I'm still be here. Still be here.
Screenshot.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna still be here.
I think you guys should go all out for if I was Arsenal, if I was Mikel Arteta, I would put all my eggs in the league and the Europa League. I just whatever.
We say fuck off the Europa League.
Bro, honestly, because imagine if you came, say, second and won the Europa League, that's your platform for next season. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the platform for next season, because like you said, you enjoy it. This is the part of the thing where, as a fan, it's the best. You don't have any expectations. You're enjoying the team. Everyone's behind it. And it's like, let's see. My
expectation was top 3, bro. So I'm not even asking the team to win anything. I'm saying make top 3. Forget top 4. We're the 3rd best team in the country after Liverpool and City. Go and cement that and go and prove that to everyone. 38 games are played in the league. And I honestly believe that. I honestly believe how we play football, only City and Liverpool are better than us. I honestly believe that. So let's go show that, and let's make sure that we do that by the end of the season.
Cool. Look, I think I pretty much what both of you said I totally agree with. Like, as long as you're in it, you might as well enjoy it and see where you guys get. Let's move on to my boys. I'm glad that we don't talk about them much in this podcast anymore. I'm glad we don't talk about them much.
0-0 at home to Newcastle, just in case anybody is wondering what I'm talking about. Manchester United 0-0 at home at Old Trafford to Newcastle.
Like, you know what? To me, yeah, I was watching the midweek game against I forgot what they're called.
Ammonia
from
Cyprus.
And you know what's for me, like what's so concerning for me about teams is that when you don't score goals, it's more concerning when you're conceding goals. For me personally, like I'd rather us win games 4-3, 5-4, something like score goals. You know what I mean? Like goals is gonna win you games. And when you're not scoring goals, it's just so concerning. And I was very concerned, despite us winning that game last minute on Thursday. I was so concerned because I understand they gave that keeper the man of the match, but we didn't even actually test the keeper. I'll be honest with you. Every shot will just hit straight at him. I think he made one or two, like
he made one worldie in the first half. Yeah, that's it.
But they're not like fantastic saves, not saves that you thought, you wouldn't expect him to make. But Rashford he was frustrating me, bro, honestly, on Thursday. And it's just like, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised because it's Rashford. But that was my main concern off the back of that game. And obviously we went into this game without Eriksen, and which meant Fred was playing. I can understand why he plays Fred, because he's probably thinking, okay, cool, I'm going to play Casemiro, and I just need the energy that Fred is going to provide, because that's all he can provide. He's not providing anything else. It's just his energy.
He's a Duracell battery.
Yeah. He's a Duracell that's all he can. That's all he offers the team, is energy. And I think I was listening to KG. It was actually quite funny. He was saying that the runs that Fred makes, the position he gets himself into, it's like, he used this analogy, which he's an idiot anyway, saying it's kind of like his wife asking him to do the play. It's like his wife will ask him to go and like wash the plates, but what's the point when I know she's going to wash it anyway? So it's like when Fred plays, the positions that like players like Fernandes and like maybe Sancho or Rashford are going to try and get themselves into, it's not like if Fred is getting himself in that position, it's like they can't make that get themselves in that position no more. But the difference is Fred can't do nothing when he gets in that position. We know you can't do nothing. And I didn't watch the whole game, so I'm just going off like highlights, by the way. But it's not just Fred, but I'm upset that we got the draw. I was talking to my friend like, what do you expect? You don't we're not fighting for Champions League anyway. I understand we're not fighting for Champions League, but we're not going to beat Newcastle away from home. So we need to be beating them at home. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not going to be beating them away from home. And the thing is, if we're not playing the top five, like, well, one of the top six, innit? The other top five teams. I want us to be winning the rest at home, at least. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to lose or draw a game at home.
I want us to bloody score at home when we're playing the teams.
At least score a goal at home. Do you get what I'm saying? Not draw 0-0. And Newcastle had like 2 good chances in the first half that they could have scored.
Bro, how's Joe Linton hitting the bar and the post after each other, bro?
Yeah, I don't understand that, bro. But so it's just, I know Newcastle have been on good form, but come on, man. We got to be doing better to win the games. And if we're not scoring goals, that's a massive problem for me personally. And Rashford could have scored at the end. Fred, as we were speaking about, he could have done. And bro, why is he waiting for you to get the ball in his left? He's literally waited to put the ball in his left. Well, you should have taken him with your right. Like, like, I was frustrated, man. I know, like, do you know what I mean? Yes, we got to end up getting the points. I'm not expecting us to make the top 4, but I still expect us to win this kind of games at home, man. And that's the frustrating thing about it. Then we got Spurs next. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather us.
You're not playing at home to Spurs?
Yeah, I'd rather us beat Newcastle at home and get the draw against Spurs. So that I'd rather that than getting the draw against Newcastle. Now you got to go into that Spurs game with a result. We got to win that game, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win it, but for me, we got to go into that game winning it, like, because we can't get a draw against Newcastle and then get a draw against Spurs. It's just not right. 2 home games, like, you can't be drawing 2 home games like back to back. It's just not right for me, man. Yeah, I wasn't pleased with the result at all, but the performance, I would admit, like, from what I saw, it does look better, and I think that's the most important thing. You know, as long as we keep getting better and keep dominating the board more and more, I'm sure, like, we'll keep. Yeah, we're pushing forward. That's the most important thing. But we just need to get players of like Fred and McTominay and that, because when the likes of Eriksen can't play, we're taking a step backwards by playing him. And that's just the honest truth. And we have to get rid of Van der Beek, because if you can't get into the team with your old manager, then
he'll be gone in January.
Yeah,
he'll be gone in January.
There's no point in you being there anymore. Yeah. Honestly, there's not. I don't think he even makes the squad sometimes.
No, he don't make the squad.
Yeah, this doesn't make the squad. Even when we went to Old Trafford, I bloody went up.
Be chilling, bro. Be chilling.
I went up to the thingy to take a picture with him. It was in one of the boxes. He didn't make the squad against Arsenal.
He's one of them players, Drew. He just goes to Trafford Centre to buy drip just to wear to the game.
Well,
take a post on Instagram.
We'll put it this way, he didn't make any impression in that Everton team last year, and they were one of the worst teams in the league. So
did nothing.
Bro, exactly. If you can't make an impression against Everton, then yeah, it's a problem. So yeah, look, for me, I'm not. It's still the same with United. It's not like, yeah, I'm disappointed because we're not beating Newcastle, and that's because I know if it was away from home, Newcastle would beat us. So we need to get the result at home, and we've got Spurs next. We've got Spurs, and then we've got Chelsea. So it's like we need.
Oh, you got Spurs and then Chelsea away, yeah?
Yeah, I think if it's not Chelsea immediately, then it's
like that.
the game before
I like
Chelsea.
those features.
I think we got. Is either we got West Ham then Chelsea, or Chelsea then West Ham. But I think it's Chelsea then West Ham.
Oh,
yeah. So
I like those features.
Yeah, which is not great, man. So we should have won today, and with the chances that we've had, then I don't think I'm wrong in like expecting a win.
Yeah, you're right. You got Spurs, then Chelsea, and then West Ham after the league.
Ooh, tasty.
Yeah,
man.
What was Ronaldo doing? Did you see that one where he
was trying to sneak a goal?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, no, but I see what he's doing though. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I saw that because the defender touched it. The defender touched it, and if the defender touched the ball, and then he's obviously taking as look, they're taking a free kick, ref. So why can't I score the goal? But I'm guessing the ref. I'm not sure whether he's blown the whistle, but if the ref has blown the whistle, because
he had his hand up the whole time.
Oh, he hasn't blown the whistle.
Yeah. He had his hand up the whole time. The ref was like that the whole time.
Oh, okay,
had his whistles in his mouth, and then Ronaldo.
So I see what he's trying to do, but yeah, like, obviously at this rate, when
we'll take anything. We'll take anything, right?
That's what it looked like to me watching it. I was like, well, this is desperation.
We'll throw the ball in the net with our hands, bro. We'll take anything right now. That man hasn't played 93 minutes against that Cypriot team, against the Nigerian goalkeeper that was 23 years old.
I know, and that's the thing, isn't it? I'm sure like the manager wasn't expecting that. He was probably thinking they'll wrap the game up at half time.
Gonna fill our boots here.
Yeah. But yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I don't want us to spend much time on United, because there's a couple more things I just want to ask you guys before we jump off.
I was just upset that you guys didn't get the real Newcastle. Like, there was no Isaac and there was no Saint Maximin. I think if they were playing, they would have ripped you lot, bro.
You're being evil now. There's no need for that.
Because you see, when Newcastle get Callum Wilson through the middle, Isak on the other side and Saint Maximin on the other side, they're a problem for anybody in the league. And I'm talking City, Liverpool, they're a problem for anyone when they get them three going through with Demares in the middle of the park.
We didn't get that, man.
And you guys didn't get that, bro.
I'm glad.
But Sancho started today, but obviously we can't really go into it because we didn't really watch the game.
Yeah, we didn't watch it. Yeah.
I want to see how he does.
Yeah, the game went live, so we did. I can't really go into it, but hopefully, by next week we'll see if he gets another game.
The Tottenham game will be interesting. We'll see how you guys start.
Yeah, we'll see how that falls out. Just a quick one, actually. I want you get you guys' thoughts on Mbappe quickly. Like this is actually it's pure comedy. Honestly, I don't understand what's going on. So obviously, there's a report that came out earlier in the week. For some of the listeners that are not aware, that Mbappe wants to leave PSG as soon as possible. And talking about as soon as possible,
January, baby.
Some people are saying like from the reports are saying January. And bear in mind, he's only just signed a new contract in the summer. And the reason behind it is that some of the things that they agreed on in the summer hasn't materialized. One of the things that have been pointed out is the fact that the club said they were going to get a centre forward. And get rid of Neymar, and haven't got that. He doesn't want to play through the middle, and he wants to play on the left. I just think it's ridiculous. Honestly, I honestly think it's ridiculous. But I can look. I was speaking to Ham earlier on this week. I can understand his frustration that you do not want to play through the middle. And if the club has agreed that you can play on the left-hand side, then the club should see that out. But if I'm the manager and everything is working, like, you know, the issue I have with it is the fact that the team has been playing well all this season. If the team is playing bad and they're playing you in the middle, you didn't want to play in the middle, fair enough, like, throw your toes out of the pram. But the teams are playing well, and he's getting goals. You're probably the top goal scorer in the team, probably in League One. So why are you complaining? And it's like, honestly, I think Henri's got it right. I don't think he's got people around him where just tell them the truth. I think you just can't say no to him. And for me, anyway, like, I know a lot of teams will still want him because, like, don't get me wrong, Mbappe's a great player, but you can't just be controlling the team at the age of 21, 22, and just like
23 now, isn't it? Yeah.
It's 23 now, and just dictating what's going to happen in the team. That's ridiculous. Like, you've never seen that. Even I don't think Messi and Ronaldo has that. I've ever had that much support from what we like
at that age.
At that age, I don't think they've ever had that kind of power before, and which is ridiculous. I just want to get you guys' thoughts. We don't have long. I think we literally got like 5 minutes, but I just quickly get your thoughts on it before.
I think, like you said, I think he's just got main character syndrome. He's obviously signed up to this deal thinking, I'm going to turn down Real Madrid. I'm going to be the highest paid. I'm going to be the star of the team, and I play where I want to play. And it sounds like they even made agreements about he can get involved in who they sign. And basically, they're giving him way too much power. Yeah. No footballer, you know, at the end of the day, a footballer is a member of staff. Yeah. You have a manager and coaches and things like that. You can't give one player that level of power. And this is the result when he's spitting out his dummy when you don't give him everything he wants. And obviously from his point of view, I can kind of get it because he's like, I was about to leave. I'm going Real Madrid. You've promised me the world and more, so I've stayed. And this is going to be an issue that's going to be ongoing for them if he stays. Because at the end of the day, if you've got a team that's got Lionel Messi in it, there's only one main man. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's 45. It's Lionel Messi.
Big facts. Big facts.
You will have to wait until he leaves or retires before you're going to be the main guy. And, you know, the coach has found it. And like you said, they're playing. This is the best PSG team I've seen in a while. Like, they were terrible last year. Absolutely terrible. So they found a coach who somehow managed to make it work with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, because Neymar's playing really well as well. There's another one.
He scored again today.
Yeah. So it's like, you should be like, you'd think, oh, great, this coach, I was really rating the coach. You've got three guys who don't do any defensive work and got three huge egos, and you somehow manage to make a system where it's working for you. You're doing well. But now, you know, like I said, now Mbappe's got the Mbappe situation. So it's like, what do you do? And I'm even reading that he might be willing to buy out his contract and all sorts of mad stuff.
That's crazy. I haven't heard that.
But that's what I mean. But from him, for his point of view now, what do you do now though? Like, what, you're gonna go around? You're not gonna go to Real Madrid and get that sort of power. Do you know what I mean? It's a, well, I don't know what he's expecting now, because I don't know. And if you're PSG, I don't think any player is worth that hassle. And I mean, as good as Mbappe is, I don't think he's that good that he deserves this. For me personally, he's a great player, but, you know, would you even say he's the best player in the world? Probably not. So I'm like, I don't think it's worth the hassle for the cost.
Same thing I was saying. Like he's a great player, but it's not worth that much hassle. Like, I wouldn't want to play in my team that's causing this much havoc. Honestly, like, what's the point? But yeah, like, Ham, what are you saying? We have the last say before we jump on.
I don't have no problem with it. I love it for the boy. If I was him, I would have done exactly the same thing. So I don't have no problem with it. I think football, sports, general, everything's moving in that direction. Player power is a thing. It's going to be a bigger thing in 5 years' time. By the time we have kids and they start playing, it'll be £1 million a week. The players probably going to be picking a manager, just like LeBron James does in basketball. I want this guy, and that guy. And if he ain't playing, then I'm out of here. And the player is going to be the biggest asset. The player is the biggest asset. I don't care if he's a member of staff or not. The player is the biggest asset. Okay, because if you lose Mbappe, you're not getting equal footing for him. Okay, you're not going to get someone else as good as him. No way. They haven't born the player that's going to be as good as him isn't born yet. So for me, I got no problem with it. If he said that I want to go Real, you might know I want to go Real. You want to keep me? These are the conditions you keep me on. And Dave said, whatever the conditions are, if you want a private jet for your baby mama's mama, we're gonna give it to you. Yeah. And he was 20. What? Yeah, he signed it this summer, innit? So he was 23 when he signed it. I think he turned 24 at the end of this year. If they're gonna give him all of that, I'm taking it. And that's why he signed a 2-year plus a 1. So he didn't sign a 4 or 5 years, he signed a 2-year plus a 1, knowing that he wants to leave because he don't want to be there when he's at his peak years, 26, 27. And Dave said, cool, we'll give you everything. And then he's realized, hold on, you man said you were gonna do this, that, and that. You ain't done it. I'm out, man. I'm out. See you later.
Yeah, that's the
put me on the market. Put me on the market. Someone gonna buy me.
Yeah, I think it's PSG's fault. Like I said,
100%. Not the player's fault.
You gave him the power, so this is the consequence. So I don't have sympathy. I don't have sympathy for them at all.
Yeah, I want more players to have more power. That's how I see it. I want more players to have more power.
I think too much, but yeah.
I just don't think it'd be hard in football to get that much power because you're constantly developing players. You will get football's like with basketball. I think what he's trying to do, I was telling him earlier in the week, he's trying to emulate what happens in basketball in football. And I think in terms, you can see a lot of the things that happen in PSG with them getting that Jordan brand, a lot of the things that they're getting, like the power that a lot of the players have, is because like a lot of them probably watching like American football and they're trying to emulate the same thing. But
they're hanging with basketball players all the time.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's like you're gonna see that. I agree with him. You're definitely gonna see more and more of it, but I just don't think you're gonna have as much control as the basketball players do have, because with basketball players, there's only 5 like starting players and they just and you just have to be great. But like this is another topic for another day because we got to jump off now. I also wanted to bring on
more power to Mbappe.
I also wanted to discuss Barcelona, but we didn't even get the time to discuss Barcelona, so we'll try and do that next week. All right, Drew, thanks again for joining. I'm sure you're happier this week than last. So thank people for listening. Please make sure you obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all the good stuff. And we'll be back next week. Peace. Be out.
Top of the table, baby. Top of the table.
Get out of it.
Never walk alone.